Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at the first season of The X-Files. And this is episode 14, Gender Bender. Wow, that's an interesting title in itself. But yeah, we're moving along now, well into this season, and well, this is excellent stuff. But this one, well, interesting. I've got a few interesting things, hopefully, to say about this episode. Now it's before this we had Beyond the Sea, and then the next one after this is Lazarus. Now, this was transmitted on the 21st of January 1994 on the Fox network. And on the 22nd of December 1994 in the UK, it was transmitted on BBC Two. Right? Now, this is written by Larry Barber and Paul Barber. Now, it's directed by Rob Bowman, and what a servant to the X-Files Rob Bowman was. He directed over all episodes, 34 of them. 34 episodes directed by him. Also, and I think in many ways his real achievement was he directed the first X-File movie or film, whatever you want to call it, from 1998. And that is an excellent film. I think it is definitely better than the second one. It's a really good movie. It really is. It stands out well. And also, he did direct some other movies. There's Reign of Fire, which is 2002, which was quite a popular film. And also, he was involved in the superhero films before Marvel and all that business started producing, in their sort of studio. Elektra, yes. He directed that. I know it wasn't a massive success, but I don't think it's too bad, actually. Jennifer Garner, as I remember it now. It's from 2005, that. Yeah. We know what happened with all these, before Marvel got really stuck into their, series of films. There were these superhero films done before that, yeah. Now, this music, as usual, is by Mark Snow. It's always there, every episode. Now, this has got some very good locations. We have got Rowlett Historic Farm, which is in Campbell Valley Regional Park. It looks great, and that's in Langley. We've had Langley before, British Columbia. That really looks good. Also, we've got more at Steveston in Richmond. And that's in British Columbia again. Excellent. There's some really good scenes that really add, as usual, to the visual side of the X-Files. There's one thing you can say about the X-Files: it always looks good visually. The directors do fulfill what they're given. Really, they do a really good job. Now, this is a standalone episode. There's nothing to do with the ongoing conspiracy. We seem to have a lot more of these, but yes, it's not it's not a conspiracy episode, right? So let's get into the cast. We've got David Duchovny as usual as Fox Mulder, and the brilliant Gillian Anderson as Dana Scully. Then we have got Brent Hinckley, who plays Brother Andrew. Films that he was in, he was in Brain Dead from 1990, which is sort of comedy horror. He was in Jacob's Ladder 1990. He was in The Silence of the Lambs 1991, which, a big film that was. And he was also in Falling Down 1993, which is absolutely brilliant. Michael Douglas film that is superb. If you haven't seen Falling Down, you should see Falling Down. And also, as usual, there's a lot of TV series and TV films. Then we've got Michelle Gudger playing Sister Abigail. Now, she's in another X-Files episode, which is Die Hand, Die Verletz. I think that's how I pronounce it. And that is from season 2 and episode 10. Episode 10, season 2, another X-Files episode. And again, you look and you see, wow, you think, they're in that TV series. There were lots of TV series and TV movies. Then we've got a name that you might recognise, and you'll understand why. Nicholas Lee plays Michael. Nicholas Lee, is that name is familiar? Yes, if you know the X-Files, it's very familiar because he's going to play a reoccurring character. Yes, you got it yet? It's Alex Krycek. Yes, no, he's a bit of a villainous character, and he pops up all over throughout the X-Files. But here he is playing another role. So, before that character emerged. And then, if you look at his, he's another one who obviously had quite a career in TV appearances and series and movies. But, yeah, TV movies, of course. Right. So, you're saying, Bayek, what is all this about then? What's the story about? Now, Mulder and Scully, they investigate a series of what seem to be bizarre deaths. Young or adults are basically dying of massive heart attacks after having, a bit of, how's your fallout? A bit of sex, yes. It's obviously a lot of very hard sex going on there because, it causes a heart attack. But Mulder believes that the reason for this is that they are brought on by this large amounts of pheromones. You know about pheromones, about the sexual, how they instigate attraction in a big way, between the sexes. So we have that. But of course, Scully doesn't quite believe it. From a medical viewpoint, yes, she certainly is very skeptical about it. And also, when we see a CTV clip, we see going in a woman and then coming out a man. So, that's strange. What's happened there? So that adds just a bit to the mystery. Now, all this eventually leads to a sect, a religious kind of sect, who are called the Kindred. That's quite an interesting name, the Kindred, yes. Anyway, they're called the Kindred, if you look at them, they're a bit like the Amish. They're obviously a rip-off of the Amish. The hats, everything, the way they're dressed. But hey, they're called the Kindred in this. Now, they obviously, eventually, we see that there is clearly some connection. And it becomes quite clear that somebody from them is going out committing these murders, and they've got to find out. Well, they've got to find out who it is, and they need the help from them. And that's how the story evolves and goes on to its conclusion. Now you're saying, well, yeah, that sounds all right. Yeah, sounds quite an interesting story. But the thing is, for me, I don't know. It doesn't quite have the spark. It should do. It's a sexy story. Let's face it. It's supposed to be a sexy story, but it's not. It's sort of a bit flat. I don't know why, but it is. It's the flat. Whether it's in the writing of the scripts, I don't know. And the feeling when you're watching it, there are some good moments as usual because Mulder and Scully always work so well together. But you don't feel this story really takes you there. It meanders along. And then it ends in a sudden way. And it's almost like they didn't know what to do at the end. So they thought, we'll do this one and just stick that idea. And I think that's reflected because of the way the story has meandered on. It should have been a lot more dynamic than it was. I'm not saying it's a terrible story, but it feels a bit flat. I think that's it. Which is obviously to do with the script. I mean, there are, as I say, some great scenes in it, but it just, I wouldn't put this as a great episode in the whole line of. We've had such a lot of very strong episodes in this first season that it stands out for not being outstanding. It's very average. It's, well, dare I say it, and this is a real damnation. It's a bit dull, really. Yes, I know. That is the ultimate damnation, because if you're dull, you should be standing out, and it doesn't stand out like it should do. That's it. I don't like to be negative. Say back, yeah, I've been a bit negative there, lad. Yeah, it's just I felt a bit let down because I've enjoyed this series so much, the episodes that we've had, and then this comes along, and immediately, sounds interesting. And apparently that one of the remakes of the story was, let's get a bit sexy. It doesn't. It's not. It's not it doesn't spark the fires. It doesn't. The story just seems. It's a shame, but there we are. But it's well worth watching. You would watch it and think, oh yeah. But it's not. It's not outstanding. I just have to say that, which is a shame, but. There we are. I've got to be honest about it. I can't say something that isn't, a lot more, because I've been so enthusiastic, and I really have. I've loved it. These stories, but this one, the last one that we had, Beyond the Sea, was a real wonderful story. It had so much depth, so much love in it, and you could when you were enjoying watching it. This one, and the ending, you feel, wow, is that all they could do? They couldn't think of another ending. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, that's it. I think I better go now. Before I do, I always show you it. Here it is. The first season in the small box set, in the big box set. I always say that as well. But that's how it is. It's a wonderful box set. And there's the first part of it. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We'll let you know when I put out these videos. And you have a look at playlist, previous reviews I've done on the X-Files, and all the other things. I do all sorts. And if you like this particular video, please give it a like. And it gets it out onto YouTube, into algorithms and all that stuff. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments. And it all costs a note. And I can't say fairer than that, can you? So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.